What's good, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for Elevated Vibes right here on IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeart radio station. Now, to join this great conversation, the number to call is 708-223-8953. All right? Now, you can always get with us on Facebook Live. Now, everybody, you know who I am. I'm your boy, Abdul Rashid, along with Mr.
Tim Evans.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And today, we're talking about strengthening that distant family bond. All right, y'all. Now, we all have those labeled family members. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, those country cousins, those hood cousins, those bougie cousins, and all that. Which, truthfully, they should just all be cousins. That's it. You know. Now, if you all think about it, and you think about it as well, bro, family is one of our biggest blessings, biggest strengths, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you look at it, these labels, when you label them, it kind of weakens that strength, that bond. So, what we gonna do to flip that? Talk to me.
Well, the weakening of the bond is probably something that we should be looking at. I think the way we strengthen these bonds that have been weakened over time is to take a look at what's happening. How is it weakening? You know, how long has it been weakening, and why?
True.
You know, I think that one of the first steps is to kind of realize that this hasn't always been the case. A lot of people think, they look back at the family and they say, wow, the families are, they're all broken apart. They're coming apart at the seams, but it hasn't always been like this.
No, it hasn't. And one of the things, because we all, for the longest, as you and I would remember, we had the family reunions, and you get a good number. You wouldn't get everybody every time. I mean, people got lives, they got things to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you would get a good portion of family there.
Right.
And from what I've seen, and I want your input on this one, from what I've seen, it seems like some of that, hey, I'm going to the family reunion this year, blah, blah, that love for it has kind of dwindled. Don't you think?
I do. And I think that a lot of it has to do with, the situation, maybe the depressive state of some families, because I wouldn't put all families in the same category when it comes to how connected they are.
Right.
But I think that when we're talking about some of our most vulnerable families, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
they are probably the most affected. If you're talking about your upper class or upper middle class educated families, I think that you're right. There is some separations when you look at, your cousins that are on, the lower end of the economics spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe the middle class part of the family is trying to keep it together. And we have a problem with trying to bring the other half of the family along. And that could be a difficult thing to do.
But the thing is, okay, we all know, I mean, I don't care if they're middle class, lower class, or upper class, but they all know deep down in the back of their mind, this is my family. I mean, don't get me wrong. People gonna be people.
Mm-hmm.
And even family sometimes in some way is going to do something that's going to irritate the living crap out of you. I mean, I could say it in a whole nother way. But the fact is, though, regardless on how they may irritate you, these may be family members that in some type of way grew with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all could have been and family wise at the same level at a certain time, but they made a a trip in life. You made a trip in life, and y'all went into to different spectrums. But both of you all should know that y'all can learn from each other.
Right.
So what happened where the fact that because this one person may be a bank president, but it's cuz which they used to run together, like, I mean, just tighter than anything. Now his cuz may be maybe working in retail.
Right.
Why can't they still vibe together? Because you family, and it's that love that should be there. And still, that cuz that work in retail could still probably give some suggestions to that bank president.
Well, I think that in that case, the two parts of the family can get together. But when you're talking about a further kind of divergence in the way that family members act, then it might be a problem. Okay, so say you have a very religious side of the family.
Yes.
They go to church every Sunday
diligently.
Right,
Yeah.
diligently. Every Sunday they go to church, and they are having a barbecue.
Right.
Are they going to invite maybe some people who have a little criminal element in the background?
Cousins,
Right.
The ones that
They may be coming to the barbecue packing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They may be a little wild. I mean, in a way they should, though. You know what I mean?
They should be packing?
No. I'm saying that they should invite them. It should be an invite where, hey, yeah, you may have done this, done that, or we know what you may do behind closed doors or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is still fam, and fam should still have something of that connection. And it shouldn't be okay, the thought process is a little different than what it used to be, because should it not be that family member that is diligent in the church and doing what they do, should they not, still reach that, pull out their hand to that cousin that may be a little hood?
They should.
You know what I'm saying?
They should.
And I mean, because if you are, in my book, if you are true to what you have learned and to your new way in living, why not bring, fam may be doing some things. Why not hopefully talk with them, congregate with them, and maybe change their route in life?
Well, yeah, that's the goal.
Right.
That's definitely the goal.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You're right. You do get those cousins that they change their route some. And because other cuz does some buck wild type things, they don't do nothing with them, and it shouldn't be that way.
So I can tell you how we do in our family.
Okay.
So, I have a very large family in the Chicago area, right? Okay. And we get together, I would say fairly often. We probably used to get together a little bit more in the past before COVID and everything, but we're starting to get it back together. Now, I have a lot of cousins,
right,
that are packing. You know what I mean? Legally and illegally.
I like how you put it, but go ahead.
Legally and illegally, right? But we all don't get together unless it's something huge. We all don't get together. So some parts of our family, we get together more than others, right?
Yes.
And it's usually the same group that get together in these small kind of situations. So, but we have another thing outside of the parties, right? Outside of the barbecues, we have social media, right? And it is kind of way to keep in touch with everybody,
right?
But not actually getting together. So we pretty much talk to each other every day, right? But we don't get together every day, obviously.
Right. I mean, you got a life to lead. They got a life to lead.
Right, right. We're working and stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, this is the way we do things. We talk a lot, through social media and stuff, instant messages, and we talk, and and it kind of slowly filters in. Okay, when we have a party, we're gonna take it easy. You're not gonna bring so much marijuana to the party. If
Mm-hmm.
you bring a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, it's a kind of way to ease the family into like a similar way of thinking when we get together, I would say. And it seems
Okay.
to be working.
All right. All right.
How about you?
I mean, with fam and so forth, because like you, I have a large family on both sides. Just in case everybody that's listening, that's fam.
Hmm.
I'm giving love to both sides. But anyhow, though, you know, what we try to do is we try to get together when we can, especially, everybody's trying to make sure it's contact through, group sites within social media, just like you spoke about, and also trying to get together for the family reunion. Like my father's side, I think it's, if I'm correct, and any of y'all can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it's going on to the 107th, reunion, 107, 108th, somewhere on that level.
Hmm.
And we definitely put it out to each other to make sure to see if, they have the chance to go down to reunion, and it's down in Marietta, Georgia. Go down to the reunion so, everybody can congregate and see how everybody's doing and still have that connection, because that was, the intention of, maybe make sure I get it right. It would be my great great grandfather to make sure that, you know, his kids and his kids kept that connection. So he always made sure that, you know, this was going to happen. This was, and so forth. And so we definitely try to do that.
Hmm.
And I think it's definitely much more of a need, just not within my family, but everybody out there with their families and so forth, that we need to push this family thing, because you see a lot of things that goes on with the kids that back in our day it didn't go that way. Don't get me wrong, we did some buck wild stuff,
Hmm.
but not to their level, you know.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that's kind of missing, is because it's a lot more separation within, not only the distant family, but a lot of times the nuclear family too. So, and that's something that we need to retouch, readjust, rebuild, so that some of these things that we see out here right now can stop.
Mm.
You know,
Hmm. So, okay, so before this gets all out into video, I want to clarify something.
talk to
Yeah,
me,
okay, because I
talk to
don't
me.
want my family to get pissed off at me for saying this.
Come on with
So,
it.
for the most part, the cohesiveness in my family is very strong.
Yes.
So, I can't speak to a family that has very divergent points of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My family is not like heavy on the criminal gangster side.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Most of the family comes together. It's all good. I just want to say that.
Okay.
But when you take, for example, some families that have a very divergent way of thinking, right? Say you do have a lot of the criminal element, and you may have a party, and there may be a shooting at the party. Some family members don't get together. Some family members will get together and fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they will actually fight each other.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean, something like that. That's, I think, and I believe that that's the job of the elders, to see. Okay, you see these two family members, they may be in their 20s,
hmm
and they get in a little scuffle. You know,
hmm
it's to the older ones, you know, to get over there and be like, hey, y'all, cool this out. You cousins, this ain't what you supposed to be doing. Sometimes you got to remind them, and that's kind of what, the need for that stronger bonded type family needs to come back, and it needs to be back out there, and we need to strengthen that as a whole. because if you do, you're going to stop these kids from doing certain things, such as that. It's going to give them more of a inspiration, more of a purpose, and everything else.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and then sometimes if you look at it too, the kids need an extra guidance, not only from their parents, and there's no knock at the parents, but sometimes you also need that uncle to smack you up in the back of your head and say, "Hey, cool that out." You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
I mean, and they ain't worried about your mama and daddy. See, they know that because they know your mama and daddy know you good. And it's just that, hey, if I couldn't catch him, hey, he did. So
right, right.
no
Yeah.
doubt.
So, what kind of advice would you give to a family that don't have the responsible person there? Or they're just responsible enough to get everybody together. They
Mhm.
want to have a fun time. They want to get everybody together, but um,
Well,
maybe the value of
well, even with that reunion or just a little get together, because you want to have some type of activities or something where everybody could do something that would bond.
Mhm.
You know, um, you know, I'm just trying to guess. If y'all going out and y'all playing piggy or something of that sort, that everybody could bond together just for a moment, just to show that camaraderie. And this is your cuz, this is family, this is love, and then no matter if cuz maybe you're looking at a case, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But for that moment, you know what I'm saying? Cuz ain't thinking about that case. Cuz is thinking about family and enjoying himself or herself, you know what I'm saying? And, whatever may happen, they just got that better feel for that moment. And sometimes that's what a person needs,
Mhm.
you know? So, I mean, that would be my suggestion to whatever, is going on, making sure that it's something that can be done. I mean, of course, good food is always a beautiful thing, but sometimes you need a little bit more than that, you
Mhm.
know? So, you know, put together something. I mean, even if you got a bunch of card players, well, you already know, had them card tables to the side. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Have fresh stacks. You already know what to do. Or somebody playing bones, same thing.
Right,
You know, so
right.
that's definitely something that can be done.
Now, I will tell you something that made it easy for my family
Hmm.
to, be able to get together
Yeah.
calmly and have a good time
Right.
is that we all grew up together,
Okay.
right? We saw each other a lot. Now, a lot of these families now, they don't see, you know, each other all the time like
Hmm.
we used to.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you ever seen 40 kids together running around in the same family around the house and around the neighborhood like crazy people. But that's a scene that we used to have regularly, at least every Sunday,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Um, but it seems like, now maybe, cousins, they don't get together on a regular basis. We get together for the barbecues and the holidays, but not like every weekend, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that, but then that falls to, especially coming off things such as now as we're coming off COVID, that everybody's trying to catch up and get back together. But then life, you might can't do every weekend, but I mean, if it's a possible once a month type deal, or even let's stretch and say once every 3 months,
Hmm. Hmm.
if that's possible, and you got to do whatever it is, just like you said, a lot of your family, which a lot of families, I know my family does, you know, it'll be some contact through from somebody to somebody through social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing, definitely got to keep it up. If you're going to use social media, why not use it for a good thing such as that? Connecting with your family and so forth. Because I mean, yeah, hey, fam may be, how
Yeah.
can I say, you may live in Washington State, but your fam is in Florida.
Right.
You know, that's going to be a lot of chop going back and forth for that distance. But still, you got that social media, so they should always make a good use of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, without a doubt. Now, also, do you believe that, okay, let's just say you don't have the typical family picnic.
Hmm.
What if, okay, your reunion is that, hey, fam, we're going to buy out the whole floor on this ship for this cruise. Do you think that's still a good vibe and feel for the family in general instead of, the typical picnic, everybody's out doing a cruise? And I'm literally talking about 100, 200, 300 people.
Yeah, I think if you can afford it, or if the people in the family who can afford it, somebody has their back, and maybe it's a big pot that we put into and get the cruise going. Yeah, I think that would be a legitimate way
Okay.
to get the family together. Because some people in your family will never experience that if you don't bring them along like that.
Right.
And experiences change your life sometimes and make you think of what's possible. And yeah, I think that's definitely a
And
legitimate
that's
way.
kind of why I even brought the thing with doing the cruise, just because it'll be a different experience that a lot of people may not have done. And like you just said, that experience could do some type of changing in your life.
Oh
And
yeah.
then with, and like I said, 100, 200, 300 people, you know, oh, that cruise line going to give you a discount.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They going to
Yeah.
give you a discount.
Yeah.
So it's more probable that you will get that much family to roll with you.
Yeah.
As long as there are, and I'm sorry for everybody that is really afraid of large bodies of water. I know a few people that are. No, I really do. And I didn't realize that was a thing with some people,
Mhm.
but they are, and I get it. So they might be the ones like, no, I ain't going.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
you still get everybody else. And that's always a blessed thing.
Oh yeah, those experiences could change a child's life forever. I mean, they can remember that for the rest of their life. You know, doing something. It doesn't have to be like a boat, but doing something cool.
Yeah.
Taking them, horseback ride, and they remember that stuff.
Right.
And they talk about it, and it builds their experience of life and what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, as long as you can get together and talk,
Mm-hmm.
you can spread the information back and forth. If I got some relatives, um, and we have different ideas about stuff. And if you can bounce your ideas off of people without, uh, you know, having, somebody saying, "Oh man, that's stupid." You know what I mean? If you could just sit down, have fun, and bounce your crazy ideas off people, see if they work, see if they believable, see if they true. I don't know if they're true or not. That's what family is about. You know what I mean?
That brings up another question. Would you, because it's always back and forth when I hear people speak on this, would you go into business with your cousin or, brother, sister, whatever? Would you go into business with them?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. All right.
But I got a but there.
Okay, come on.
So I would go into business
Yeah.
with a family member,
Uh,
but everybody has to bring the same amount of money to the table.
y'all hear that now?
Everybody has to, yeah. It can't be somebody giving 80% and another person give 5%. No, no, no. We all going to. If we lose money, everybody's going to lose the same amount.
Right. And
Yeah,
then
that's
everybody got to bring the same amount of work too to the table.
everybody.
I mean, one family member may be good at something and the other one's good at something else. Well, you got to put in the same amount of work.
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has to put in the work and definitely put in the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if one person loses money and the other ones don't feel it, man, that could cause some problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you? How you
I
feel
mean,
about
yeah,
that?
hey, personally, I would love to. I've seen a number of cousins that I know and cousins that I, even though I only met them through, social media and so forth, but some of the things that they do, if we could sit down, get together and connect like that, and I got the money to do it, yeah, I would, you know. But we have to, with any business and you got a partner, you have to make sure that you're coming with the same attitude to the table too,
Mm-hmm.
you know. and you're not just coming just to play, but you there to do this and make money and make something big, and you'll make it together. And sometimes when you have these partners, sometimes it just doesn't gel, even though they may have all the talent in the world to do it, but that work ain't there,
Right.
you
Right.
know. And being that and saying that, then you come with that issue, just like you were saying with the money. Hey, it can't be one guy putting that 80%, and the other guy doing 20.
Right. Yeah.
No,
That's not
no,
gonna work.
no,
That's not gonna work.
no. I mean,
Yeah.
at the furthest, it was going to be some type of a difference. It's got to be a 60-40 at the most. It would be no more than that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's being nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Quick question:
come on.
Are we doing a contract or a handshake?
Oh, with fam?
Yeah.
I personally would say I would love to say handshake, but to be safe and be fair, I think it should be contract. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would love to say handshake, but because you may have that cuz that want to play, and they may come in the beginning like they not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But 3 months down the line, you realize, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But if you get the contract there, then everything is square and everybody's, kind of fair to things, so.
Right. And you never know what kind of situations you're going to come up with. Maybe somebody wants to get out of the company. How you going to do that?
True.
How you going to take the money out evenly or fairly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to have a contract, even with family.
Yes.
Yes.
What
happens if you have employees? What are they going to do? How
Right.
you going to pay them? So yeah, I think it would be fair, for everybody to get a contract, or at least a loosely. You don't have to be, lawyered up or anything like that.
No, I ain't saying all that. Just a simple contract that, hey, this person gonna do this, and this is how, everything kind of down in paper, so everybody's squared and everybody's on the same page.
Right.
It ain't got to be all technical, unless you kind of worry about that person. That's a whole nother story.
Right.
But hopefully being fam and having that strong bond. And let me just remind y'all that that's what we're talking about today. Building and having that strong family bond, even with distant relatives. You guys can always hit us up, 708-223-8953 or Facebook Live. But yeah, like I was saying though, that, if cuz and everybody's on the same page, then it should be all good. It really should.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw one at you, because and we've talked about on the show a lot of times, with the importance of history. Mm-hmm. All right. Now to be more of an inspiration to the younger generations and so forth, and should every family have a family historian, that could take the younger ones back to see what your ancestors have done? Should they have elected a historian? And that would also mean that, if you're going to get this historian, that they have to start digging in the records and all that, which is going to cost money, which then, if the family as a group has some type of committee, they will have to fund that person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so to do that, and then to, like I said, have that inspiration to the children, to that younger generation, should families destinate a family historian?
I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.
You could designate one person as a family historian. So, like in my family, there are just a couple of people that just like that to do that, and they go on their own. They try to go back as far as they can down the family tree, and they love it. Now,
right. I mean, it's a beautiful thing personally, but yeah, go ahead.
If somebody was to try to elect me as the family historian, they're gonna stop at like my kids or something. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna go too far. Because it's hard work.
And that's why I'm saying, as a committee being put together to fund it. So then that way, that person, if they got the funds coming in to do it, even though they may love doing it, but they got the funds coming in to do it, they're going to dig deeper than what they probably just would have just for the heck of it,
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I'm saying, should that be a if possible, every family thing. If family
Yeah, that
wants to
was.
grow and have something like that.
Well, I know we did the DNA test,
Yes.
and that was part of our searching for our family line, right? The DNA test, and we definitely found some surprises that we didn't know about, and some connections, a lot of connections that we never knew we had. I mean, every year it's getting bigger and bigger. More people are like, oh yeah, I know this person, and this person is my cousin, and I mean, family lines we never even knew about in different states. So it is incredible. So it would definitely be beneficial for somebody to take up that challenge. You know what I mean? In every family,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah. I do think if somebody is willing to do it, but like I said, it could be hard work though. I mean, you have to.
Right.
I mean, once you get past, the into like the 1800s,
Mm.
man, you're gonna be
Yeah, I
you
know
going to
it
libraries
gets,
and all
yeah,
that
it
kind of
can get
stuff.
real tight at that point, and that's truly
Yeah,
understandable.
it's like a brick wall at a certain point,
Right.
like
And then that will go back, hopefully, to the funding that it will push a person further to get past those brick walls. To if you can find what section or which country that your family originated from, to
Mhm.
actually send emails or actually call maybe a consulate or so forth from the country where that you could maybe dig further. Hey, that would be a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
That would be an absolute beautiful thing.
So have you done the DNA?
I did personally, and I'm gonna tell you, I did. This was a while ago when everything started coming out with, doing the family DNAs and so forth.
Mhm.
And, I got with the wrong ones. And I'm not talking about it didn't give me the info, because it did,
Mhm.
but you know how they take your DNA and they can use it to go find this person, that person, which at that point when I did it, that was a while ago and I didn't know. But yeah, I did, and found out a good number of things of where sections of my family come from, and it was really interesting, to
Yeah.
be truthful.
Yeah. I would have to recommend it because the more people that get involved in it, the more focus they can get to the
Mhm.
area where your family has originated, the more connections they can make. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, no doubt. And okay, also too, and we kind of touched on the abilities the good that it would may be, or the helpfulness that it would may be with a strong bonded family being in the neighborhood to help your kids out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And do you believe the same thing, that having kids with this strong bonded family, is it an aid, or is it a harm? You know what I'm saying? What do you feel?
I think that it could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if if your family bond is strong
Yes.
and the things that you all do in the family flows towards prosperity, then that's good. But if the family is kind of the bond is strong and you don't flow towards prosperity, that could be a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that a lot of times the family is African Americans family. A lot of times it's focused on like church, right? That's where the foundation uh, on your morals and how to act, right? So that's a good thing. You definitely need to be in a moral situation when you want to deal with each other, right?
Right.
But it's other things that probably that need to be considered too. That I don't think that we're all over the place sometimes in our families, right? Like when I was growing up, I have a certain group of people in my family. They're all about the eating healthy stuff, right?
Okay.
So I remember maybe we go over a certain family member's house and don't don't eat that, you know. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean this, and mostly this is like a hypothetical situation, right? So
Okay.
don't eat all of that junk, or this family might not eat meat or something like that, you know. And I don't know, that could be a kind of disruption.
Or how could you flip that to make it a bond though? Like you just said, you may have fam that became vegetarians, like you're saying,
Hmm.
and hey, you're gonna get your chicken or whatever, you're gonna eat your steak or whatever, but how would you take that difference and still build a connection with your vegetarian cousins or whatever?
Well, it's all about communication, right? So when you do get together, you all talk about stuff, you know. You talk about the stuff you eat. You talk about your experiences, where you've been, what's good to go, what's a good place to go to, what's a not so good place. As long as you talk and bounce ideas off of each other, it should. I think that it will start to balance out.
Okay.
You know, eventually.
Okay.
Because when we get together, we definitely talk about food, what's healthy. Oh, I'm trying not to eat so many fat foods. I'm trying not to drink so much. I'm trying not, and that's good. You give some encouragement
All
to
right.
that.
What if, and I'm not going to use food because it's not total opposites of a spectrum in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're speaking on your health, but what if it's something that's totally and completely opposite of how you believe in things? You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
know, yeah, you can speak with them, but still, how would you kind of connect with them so that you can learn something about what they own and they can learn what you own? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How would you bring that? How would you open up the doors to that connection? Is what I'm saying.
Well, so my philosophy is I don't want to have any kind of confrontation with my family members, right?
Okay.
So um my my the members of my family, we have, say, different beliefs in religion,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Some may be more of a Christian, and different sects of Christians. Some may think more of Islamic thought. Some may be atheists and not saying anything.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And my first goal is I want to understand. I
Right.
don't want to fight. I don't
Right.
want to fight family. I
Right.
want to I want to have a decent conversation.
Because you want to learn something.
I want to learn something. Right.
Okay.
It's not about being correct. It's
Hmm.
not about getting one over on you.
Hmm.
That's me.
But wouldn't it be more
Uh,
about just being open? Open to, you know, talking about it and, open up to asking the questions
yeah.
and you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you can't be open. Are you open with everything? That when you all have conversation, can you say everything that's on your mind? I don't
Long
think I
as
can.
I tried, I'm gonna be honest. At first, younger me, no. Younger
Uh-huh.
me, no way, no how. But as I aged, you know, as long as I feel, as long as I'm trying to be respectful to
Mhm.
whatever the difference is. And I mean, you use religion, we talked about food, but any other, this whole pile of differences. Um, Whatever the difference is, if I'm open to it and I come respectable to them and they reciprocate with that same respect, I don't have a problem. Not at all.
So, how about if you had a belief that would scare your family? Now, you're not trying to be confrontational,
Mhm.
but what you say would put some fear into the family. Then would you keep it to yourself, or
Well, it depends on, okay, something that would scare the family. I'm trying to think of something,
you want me to give you an example?
but you're right. I'm trying to give an example, but if it's something that's questionable, what I would try to do is find a complete the complete meaning of whatever that is so very questionable that it may scare folks,
Mhm.
you know. And I would come with that, and I would come real saying I could understand where this may leave you bothered, scared, whatever you want to call it, you
Mhm.
know. But I would try my best. I would try. Let me stress that point. I would try my best to come with the full facts of it and the good of it. So yeah, that would pretty much what I would do.
Mm. Yeah, I would just listen. I would ask questions about what they believe. I wouldn't I try not to like poke holes in stuff. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
no,
that's kind of aggressive.
right.
I wouldn't want to do that to family. Now, if it's somebody off the street and they, talking some stuff, then I would definitely. I like going back and forth with people on ideas and things like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, family, I pretty much keep it cool. You know, I know my mother and and my grandmother used to be
Mhm.
very religious.
Okay.
So, you know, belief system is kind of like off
But now
for
when
me.
I gotta say, when you're talking to my grandma, even though, you know, I feel you should take your point to a certain way, but don't get too rugged and raw with them.
Hmm.
Or, I mean, in the beginning, well, yeah, I don't believe you should get rugged and raw with them. Then they probably already know you probably don't believe or go to the levels that they do.
Right.
But I'm just saying I would conversate with them if they if they open up the door to the conversation. you
Right.
know,
Right.
they got to open the door, and I say my grandma because the older you get, the more that you're set in certain ways, and you might get to that point where you ain't trying to hear nobody else.
Right. Right. Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when you at that point, you have to, you tread lightly, but you could tread. Is what I'm saying. So
So how about if you have a family member that comes with a lot of conspiracy theories? Now you trying to poke holes in those, or you letting them go?
it depends on the conspiracy theory because technically, with me, we might have the same theory, but but um, I still would try to see if I could quickly look up or see the facts of what they're talking about, and then I may poke holes if it's raising theory. Oh, I'm
Right.
poking holes,
Okay.
but I'm gonna do it in a way again where I'm gonna try to keep that respect level up, so that then yet they come back to me with their respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right.
still, fam gonna learn something from me. I'm gonna learn something from them, even with the conspiracy theories.
Right.
you
Right.
know, and then again, there goes that bond, there goes that building, and then the younger ones see that, and hopefully, this is always the hope that they will be the same with those of their generations.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because I mean, that's the whole purpose of everything, so that as we age and eventually, we got a cane and doing one of these and all that, the family's still building, the family's still together, the family is still strong because, like, was saying in the beginning of this show, it's one of the blessings and one of the strengths that we all have is family,
Mhm.
you know, and it may come from different parts of the family, you know, because people have their ways.
Right.
But still, it's family. And hey, with family, that's the extra push, that's the extra everything that can get you through a lot of things, you know. So now, besides, and I know I mentioned uh cruise ships, besides something like that, if there was something else that you could think of that the family can do that's not just a standard picnic, what would it be?
Not just a standard picnic.
Right.
Um, I mean, you can have. I would definitely be interested in a college fund. If
But I'm
you,
just saying on the level of getting together, because you know, fam can, how can I say, everybody can go to Vegas and rent out the floor in the Luxor or something of that sort.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. Well, what other things that if you had to give suggestion to families of doing something just a little bit different, even though I just came off the Vegas thing off the top of my dome, what would be some other things that you could think of?
shoot. I don't know, water park. You can go to the water park. You can go to, um, you can get everybody fishing. That's something that you could
Yeah,
do.
learn to
You know,
fish.
yeah, learn to fish. Go camping.
True,
That's not too expensive.
true.
Um,
That'd be one heck of a night camping with a whole bunch of
oh yeah,
people.
yeah, but I mean it can be done.
Yeah,
It
that's
can,
true.
you
Agreed.
know, shoot, you can ride bikes.
Mm,
You know, uh,
hmm.
join some join some of these charity events. I used to go with my daughters to bike the Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and we used to ride down Lakeshore Drive, and
Hmm.
yeah, so you can join charity events with your family members who want to go. Um, yeah, have a softball game.
Yeah,
We used to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
You know.
But I like that idea with the charity event. So everybody think about it. You and your family could make a huge difference. A
Yeah.
huge difference. I mean, if you really look at it, what if, you know, and I'm trying to think of um, another charity event. You already had to go on with Bike to Drive, but fine. What if it was 50 or 60 your family? With hey, have your reunion shirts on,
Yeah.
and everybody's on TV biking to drive. That would be a beautiful thing, and that would show that togetherness and the bonding and all of that sort, and
True.
be a good example to the youngers.
Yeah. I mean, everybody who gets involved in charity events, they're not participating. Some people are doing the support roles, handing out water, making sure everybody's okay, handing out the little things you have to put on your T-shirt and stickers and all. You can do
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
yeah, yeah. So y'all take those suggestions. Definitely. I love it. I mean, real talk. That there is a beautiful thing. And
Oh yeah,
then,
for sure.
you
Yeah.
know, you would definitely represent the family big time to something like that. I mean, heck, that event will probably invite them all back every year just on the fact that would be something so big and something so different for them. And I'm talking about the event itself. That is something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is something. Any last words, bro, before we ride out?
Um. Well, I just wanted to kind of talk on some of the things that we can work on as families to try to um, become stronger.
Okay, come on with it.
So I was thinking about a lot of families are under so much stress, right? Um, and you know um, maybe talking to each other about meditation, prayer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, maybe you can make a commitment with somebody. To make a commitment to do it daily. You know, and kind of switch the conversations up when you have the barbecues and stuff.
Right, and I was about to ask you. So, would you personally, because it almost sounds like a good idea, would you personally invite you say meditation, so I'm guessing the yoga studio instructor or the guru or whatever to the family reunion to have a certain section sitting out there to possible get people into the meditation type gigs.
You know what? Now, it's funny you said that. During the family reunion, I didn't go this family reunion, but I heard from my mother that somebody did have a meditation, or no, maybe it was yoga. They had everybody doing yoga at the family reunion.
Right. I don't know the exact term, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to screw it up, so that's why I came with a couple different
I
things.
think it was yoga. Yeah,
Okay.
I think they had everybody doing yoga, so I'm fine with it.
Okay.
You know, it's a new experience, and people should be brought into new experiences as much as possible. You know,
Right. And then that could be definitely a help for again, we spoke about the younger generation, and even when you're talking about something with yoga and meditation, I think a little bit of everybody, because I mean, we all can use something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Who doesn't need a little bit more, a little less stress in their life?
Right.
You know,
No doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt. Now I know you had some more there. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's just something that came to the head. You had some more there.
Oh yeah. Also, I would like to address one of the issues with the absence of like of adults in the family. Yeah, I hear all the time about the TV babysitting your kids,
Okay.
things like that.
Okay.
And you know, I don't know. That was one of the issues that I had when it comes to like you say all of these kids are constantly on their phone. They're not interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really struck a nerve with me. I was like, man, that's true. I know kids who sit in front of the TV all the time instead of talking to their parents.
Well, I was just about to say, are the parents in the house, or are the parents out and about trying to get things for the house or at work? Or
yeah, I mean, it could be all of the above. They could be out partying or they could be out at work. The fact remains the kids, they're still at home by themselves. And it's a bad situation.
So what would be your suggestion to those parents that, let's just say they out on a constant party? I mean, hey, you're a human being. You gotta go out time to time just to enjoy yourself. So you can't. Well, I hope the parents wouldn't feel like they trapped at home and can't do nothing. But what would be suggestion of those that just, hey, you got kids, but you're partying like you're single and so forth. For them to kind of strengthen their bond with their kids, to notice that, hey, the kids is not really paying attention to anything that they're doing or trying to help them with. What would be your suggestion for that bond for them? And this will be the nuclear family. So for them, what would be your suggestion?
Well, I would have a time where I just cut off the electronics. Me personally, if I can rewind back time to when my daughters were young, I would definitely say, you know what? After 6 o'clock, no TV, no phones, none of that stuff. After 6, that's it. That's it. Read a book. Talk to your friend on the phone. Read a book. Talk to somebody. No electronics after like 6 o'clock. If it was just me, but you gotta. Everybody won't think the same way. Okay. Which is part of the issue. You send them babysitting somewhere, or they getting babysitted by somebody else. They stand up to 2 o'clock in the morning looking at TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Everybody is probably not going to be on the same page.
All right. So how do you get them on that page?
Man, you tell me. I don't know. I've been trying to, but yeah, I have no idea how you would get everybody on the same page with something like that. Yeah. Even though I think it would be good. All
right. All right. Well, we come to our tail end, but this is a conversation we would love to keep going with y'all. So check it out. everyone, if you want to keep this conversation going, don't hesitate to email us. And that would be at the triple threat of radio at gmail.com. Once again, that's the triple threat of radio at gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on our social media sites. We're kind of all over the place, and be very honest with you. We are on, believe it or not, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, of course. So we're all over the place. Hit us up.
Leave a comment.
Right. Come with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? All right. So it's your boy Abdul Rashid with
Tim.
This is Elevated Vibes. We will catch y'all next week.
All right.
Peace.